What is going on, Niner fans? This is crazy. Back-to-back streams for your boy. I haven't been live in weeks. And here we go. Two in one night. How we doing? We're back with my boy Aaron. Our SF49ers takes. First takes. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing okay. It's like we talked about before, that little post draft lull. We're about to enter that. So, we're scratching and clawing, but we have to there's a little bit of news going on out there, with some of the uh, the rookie camp and some, I don't know, people talking about how much they love being a 49er and everything. So, here's a
Yeah,
little bit.
there's a little bit out there, but you're right. You were absolutely right. There's a little bit of lull. Like now it's like, okay, schedule, and then now it's like, okay,
And
yeah, and
crickets. Yeah.
for sure. So, yeah, rookie mini camp. I know we talked about the schedule last week. We were absolutely excited, and then boom, back to business. Here we go, rookie mini camp. I mean, it's rookies. They're going out there. They're getting their
Practicing it
first.
against air.
Yeah, they're not really. It's not like it's like, oh my god, this rookie looks great. Obviously, there's videos of the XFL guy, burning a cornerback and looking great. And then you have, the 49ers had a lot of tryouts, right? They brought in the like I said, the XFL guy, Isaiah Whitehead, the guy they signed when his video went viral, and they brought him in. So there's some cool little stories. It is nice to see some content when they posted about the rookies. So yeah, it does kind of bring you a little closer to the season, and you're like, okay, it's nice to see the rookies, which were all They seem promising, but we won't know until they get on the field. We saw a Jake Moody video last week, and everybody's like, oh, Jake Moody, his first kick in the Bay. So that kind of stuff was cool. I don't know. What do you got? Any thoughts about rookie minicamp on your own self, or how's your vibe?
Well, the thing with rookie minicamp is there's no pros there. It's all rookies. So they fill all the positions that are filled for that camp are all either guys that are drafted, undrafted free agents, or tryout guys. So any film you see or anything you see, little clips of videos that people are uploading to get tons of views, you have to take it with a grain of salt. That most of the guys that are being burned in that video probably aren't going to make an NFL roster. This might be their last crack. They get tryouts every year, and then they get cut every year before the mini camps even start. So everybody needs to relax. I hear um, stuff about Trey Lance too, even though he's not a rookie. I mean, with the experience he has, I guess you you could probably say he's kind of like a rookie, but yeah, I take everything with a grain of salt. I mean, I pay attention to the big name guys like D Winters and Beal, and of course Jair Brown and the kicker. Those are fun to but you're not really doing much right now. It's when there starts being not can't say live bullets, but like wait till mini camp where there's the mandatory days. Those days if the Niners even reach to that point, because last year they canceled their mandatory. They thought they were good. Plus they didn't want to get anybody hurt. So
Yeah,
these next I say like 3 weeks I'll be huge because essentially we're leaving May, we're going into June, and middle of June they stop, and then it's training camp. I don't really want to think about summer flying by that fast. Okay, we just got here. I want to. Summer hasn't even officially started yet. What is it, June 21st? So or something like that. Like let's. I love that football's coming, but I love this time of year, so I don't want to rush it. I don't want to go right back into the cold weather. So that's the unfortunate part of football in at least in the Northeast is
yeah, you're out in
football
that
means
cold,
cold. Yeah.
that cold land, and you're right. For me, it's summer. It's hot. It's beach weather. I love the summer too. My daughter, she would probably sit here and say, "No, please don't rush summer," because then she has to start the next grade. She loves the
Yeah.
summer. She's got a lot of trips planned. Like I love the summer because it's like, boom, it's Saturday, spontaneous. Let's just drive down to Monterey Beach, or let's go drive to Pacifica. We could do that, or we're going to Disneyland this summer. So it's like so much to do. I love the football season, but I want the summer to go a little slower because I love the summer. I love this time of the year. So much to do. So yeah, I agree with that. But it is cool to see the players are starting to get their mini camp, and like you said, you take rookie mini camp with a grain of salt because most of the guys that the rookies are going up against, those tryout guys, they're never going to sniff a football field. A lot of these guys aren't. Some of these undrafted guys may not get signed, but it's good to see them at least just getting their licks in, kind of getting their first reps. learning with the coaches. This is their first steps in their career. Like maybe one of these guys will be a future Hall of Famer, and these are the first days of that legendary career. So it's cool. It just signals that football is closer. And like you said, all the video clips of, oh my God, he dusted this guy. They're playing against plumbers and electricians and tryouts. Like one of the quarterbacks.
And there's nothing wrong with those
There's
jobs.
nothing
We're
wrong.
just
Yeah,
saying, like,
bro, I'm just saying
that's the
they're
ilk
not
of the
football
people
players.
that we're going up against. Yeah, like
Yeah.
me showing up to camp 10 years ago, being like, hey, I could play, whatever. And the guy, okay, well, we'll put a cup on you and a helmet. And then, like, an hour later, they're like, okay, thanks for coming by.
Yeah,
That's the type of guy that's, maybe with some a little bit more athletic ability. But I was listening to something today from yesterday's Lockdown 49ers podcast, and they were talking about how snaps go according to like where they put you on the depth chart. So like starters, backups, and then like people who barely get any snaps. If you think that the depth on this team is barely going to get any snaps in training camp, these people that we see in these videos are going to get even less time. And you have to be the stories of guys making the team based off of a YouTube clips or just being like a viral sensation. That's very rare. When I mean rare, I mean like 99.9% rare. A lot of what you see last year is pretty much going to be this team, with the exception of the Hargraves and maybe our first couple picks, early picks like Moody, and I mean J.R. Brown essentially would probably redshirt this year. D Winners, does he beat out Odom? Does he beat out
Marcelino.
Marcelino McCrary Ball? I mean, like, there's so much that as people get excited for that they kind of lose sight of the fact that some of these guys we might not even see in this year. So like, I don't get overly hyped from practice videos, even with Trey Lance, even though we're not talking about him, because it's just you're not going against pass rush. You're not, there's nobody really covering guys. You're hitting wide open targets.
Yeah.
So
it's
it
hard.
is what it is.
I mean, it's cool. It's just great to see content, but you're right. You're thrown against air. There's no pads. There's no lag bullets, like you said. So it's just one of the times that these guys are out there. They're practicing. They're getting their mind right. They're getting the mentality.
We're talking about practice here.
We talking about practice?
What are we talking about?
We talking about practice.
Freaking the greatest rant of all time. Even though I didn't like him back then, I think it's hilarious. There's a commercial with him now. You saw that. It's got him and Curry. That's great.
I loved AI. You didn't like AI? Oh, it was one of my favorites.
No, because I had a bunch of so I grew up. I was a big Bulls fan in the 90s. And all my friends were Knicks fans. They hated the Bulls. They hated Jordan. So when AI got that crossover on Jordan, that was like, woo! They don't care about championships. They don't care about the fact that Jordan did this and that. They were just like, because a lot of those guys that I was friends with all played like street ball. They were all really good basketball players. So like they saw something in AI. He's one of us. You know what I mean? Like, and so Jordan was like the old man, with the slow crossover who hits J's or fadeaways and stuff. And so when that happened, it was like I'm like, you guys realize though, he's never, win a championship or this, that, and the other. But that crossover meant he was the best player ever, according to the guys I grew up with.
He was at that time, man. I mean, that was when Jordan was getting he was getting past his prime, and retired, came back, Wizard Jordan, and we ain't talking.
I owned a pair of his shoes, Iverson.
I love those Reeboks, man. Those were after he broke out. I wasn't even a Sixers fan, but yeah, I mean everybody back in the 90s loved Jordan, but when he hit that crossover, I was like, told my mom, I was like, we're going to the store. I need some Iversons, cold-blooded. I was all over. I was on the hype train, but we digress. Allen Iverson is not on the 49ers, but somebody that is on the 49ers, Aaron, Christian McCaffrey, and he's so happy to be on the 49ers. I'm still.
It's so hard to believe that they actually stole him. If you think about it too, like next year, we're going to have all our picks pretty much, right? Like we're going to have a first, a second, everything. And we got Christian McCaffrey on our team. Like the Niners don't make moves just to make moves. There's always calculation in all their moves. And like they made the move for in 2019, they made the move for who I'm trying to say. He got overthrown in the Super Bowl by by Garoppolo, the receiver. I forget his name. Anyways, they made that move in 2019, and that was great and everything. And he helped the young receivers kind of make their way and get better. But the McCaffrey deal last year, to me, I mean, the Niners turned into a completely different team once McCaffrey got here. He is the quarterback's best friend.
He is.
And
absolutely the quarterback's best friend. So just building off of that, so the reason I bring it up, so Christian McCaffrey, it's just from Cam Inman. He says that joining the 49ers was the best thing that ever happened to me. He says the best thing that ever happened to him was joining the 49ers. And then Kyle Shanahan says he's less stressed as a play caller.
Yes, I seen that.
With Christian McCaffrey entering his first full season. So he's like less stressed, right?
He kind of unlocks the offense, and you don't have to scheme up. He makes it so much easier.
He does.
But the Niners, a lot of their players are those type of guys. You just throw them the ball and they kind of do all the work for you. So that's why people talk about quarterbacks on this team the way they do about they just need to facilitate and get out of the way, which I agree most of the time, but I still think sometimes, having an elite level quarterback. I mean, imagine an elite level quarterback with this group of weapons, especially McCaffrey.
Oh my God, man!
It would be like the greatest show on turf. I mean, the Niners would score 50 points a game.
Yeah, and that's what happened last year. Like, obviously, I give Purdy a lot of credit. He was great last year. His magical run, but I feel like people don't mention this enough when they bring up the quarterback talk. Is Christian McCaffrey elevated this offense? They didn't turn until Christian McCaffrey was there. Like even Jimmy was having some days where I'm like, oh wow, because you're right. You throw the little 5-yard flat, you throw the little 2-yard dump off. Christian McCaffrey's going to make that 2 yards into 85 yards, just like Debo. You got a lot of the yak bros, right? They got the little 5 yards in a cloud of dust, and Christian McCaffrey does that better than so many people. This guy is just a world-class athlete. Like, he's special, one-on-one, probably the best running back in the NFL. Yeah, obviously.
For what he brings to the table, absolutely.
Absolutely.
He might not be the best runner of the football, per se, but as what he does for the offense and what he brings to the table as far as a catching and receiving, he's the best. To me, if he continues on the pace he does right now, he's a Hall of Fame player.
Oh, easily.
He's a certified Hall of Famer. And people are like, oh, you're just saying that because he's a Niner. Well, yeah, a little bit. But, I mean, essentially, he's Marshall Faulk 2.0.
Yeah.
What was Marshall Faulk? Marshall Faulk was Roger Craig, but with the spotlight on him.
He was
Roger Craig was
steroids, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Roger Craig was the first running back to ever get 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in the same season.
Yeah.
And then you kick that down the road with Marshall Faulk, and then you have it again with Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. The Niners offense, and I like that No Border Sports is in the chat. Me and him always talk about 21 personnel, right? And how it's so interchangeable. And the Niners have so many different guys that can run out of that offense, and McCaffrey's one of them, and Debo's one of them. They have all these guys that can line up at running back, line up at receiver, line up at fullback. Like, it's insane. So yeah, he's one I can't say persona non grata. That's not what I'm looking for. He's definitely grata, because he's definitely not non grata. But no, he's one of my favorite players on the team. I want to get his jersey last year, but I didn't know if he's going to change his number. So if he keeps the same number, might have to give him a McCaffrey jersey just in time for him to play one more.
I didn't care if he was changing or not. I went and got his college jersey, and then I went and got his regular jersey. I was hyped because I've loved this guy even when he played at Stanford in college, I loved him. He played on a Carolina, man. He was the heart and soul of that team, and he's a special guy. I get it. I mean, to me, you're right. Marshall Faulk 2.0 is a perfect kind of comp for him. Also, I kind of see like that LaDainian Tomlinson guy, because that guy was a versatile, do-it-all. I mean, he did everything, man. He did everything. And that's what Christian McCaffrey brings to the table. He can run the ball, catch the ball. The guy is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he's an MVP type guy. Like, if he has a full year on this offense with Kyle Shanahan and this team around him, I think he can potentially become the offensive player of the year in the NFL. Like, this guy can be that good. He could probably get like 2,000 total yards. I am so excited for the first full year of Christian McCaffrey. I'm excited, man.
You got yourself, I don't know whose channel, if that's Super Duper Duper's on.
That's my boy Aaron. That's your boy Frank Tom Ocean.
Frank Tom Ocean.
Love the Aaron Rodgers show. I'm ready for week 1. I'm ready for week 1 too, Frank. I'm man. I wish.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Listen, again, I don't want to rush the season because I love summer, and I don't want to think about getting cold again. But here's the thing with football. If the Niners have a great season, then I don't care about winter. If the Niners have a bad season, then it's a long winter. And then I'm like, God, I can't wait for summer. And then we go through this whole process all over again where I get super hyped. And then that's what me and my nephew we were talking about. He goes, oh, he's like, Uncle Aaron, remember we used to like get hyped for the draft and we get hyped for this. And then the season starts and it's over. And then we're getting ready. It's like mid-October and me and him are already talking about like the draft again because that's all we had to look forward to.
Yeah.
At least with this team, if they stay healthy, we have a chance to play in late January, early February again. So let's not rush it. But I am already excited about the season. There's a couple more things I like to see the Niners do as far as maybe making a run for a older pass rusher on the other side of Bosa. I don't understand why they haven't done it yet, but I mean they're smart with their money. I'm sure they're going to let the market kind of dictate what they're doing.
Yeah.
The fact that the Browns traded for the pass rusher from Minnesota. I can't think of his name.
Oh yeah, Zadarius Smith.
I wanted him, but why give up picks when you could sign a guy for no picks?
Yeah, you're right.
So
there's still people out there, and I think they're just going to absolutely wait it out, and maybe they could go get a veteran guy. But again, they're still probably figuring out the Bosa situation, which I'm sure they'll pay him when the time comes, right before training camp, as usual. Now, the big thing that I've seen is, and I talked about this with Rohan, in terms of, edge rusher is, I honestly think that they're going to put a lot of chips on Drake Jackson. Like the pressure on Drake Jackson, I think the expectation for Drake Jackson is to be a stud this year. Maybe not necessarily stud, but to take a huge leap. Just like
a starter level at least player, right?
100%. Like they saw Hufanga last year go from special teams guy, spot player, occasional reps here and there, to becoming a all-pro safety. Like I think I don't know if Drake Jackson will become an all-pro edge rusher because there's some damn good edge rushers in the league, but I think they expect him to become a quality starter. But you still need depth on that spot. I still want another veteran.
Yeah.
And quality Drake Jackson, because right now, let's be honest, you got Nick Bosa, the man. You got Drake Jackson. Okay, he could be good. And then you got Cleveland Farrell. Those three guys, they're guaranteed to make this roster. Then you got a rookie, Beal Jr., who I love. But last year, Drake Jackson was a rookie, second-round pick, and he didn't even finish the whole full season because his body wasn't where Kyle Shanahan wanted. This guy, Beal, a lot of talent, explosive. He's a rookie. Will he be able to get through a season? Then you got Austin Bryant. The guy's riddled with injuries through his career.
Yeah.
And then Alex Barrett. I don't think that guy's making the team. So
I don't either.
Yeah.
Speaking of people not being able to finish seasons, did you hear about the undrafted free agent offensive tackle that everybody's losing their mind over, not being able to finish practice?
Yeah.
Because of poor conditioning. The undrafted guy that everybody was talking about. I forget. Man, my brain is fried tonight.
I know who you're talking about. Honestly, Christ, what's his name? The guy from I was just talking about this with Rohan. Oh my God,
Joey Fisher. Thank you, 49ers throwback. When I think of Joey Fisher, I think of Joey Buttafuoco and Amy Fisher. I'm sorry. Hey, how you doing, Joey Fisher?
They're saying he's going to be like the next big thing. He's undrafted legend. Couldn't make it.
Yeah, that's not a good look. They say a lot of guys, they don't prepare for they do their post draft. They say post draft or pre draft and getting ready for camp or getting ready for the off season is two different types of workouts. And but hey, you know what? He was undrafted.
Yeah.
So you're not losing. It's a low ceiling, high ceiling, whatever the saying is. My brain's not working tonight. All I'm saying is if it doesn't happen with him, it's not like we spent a draft pick.
Yeah, you got to undrafted.
That's definitely not a good look.
But he's a guy that a lot of people were saying, oh, he's going to be a steal, like undrafted steal. And he still may have the ability to become a really good player.
He'd get his fat ass in gear, man.
he's got a lot to learn, but that just tells you he's got a lot of conditioning to do. And maybe that's why he went undrafted, because his conditioning is not where a lot of teams would want to. He's a good, very powerful guy. I've seen the tape. I've seen a lot of reports on him. He looks like he could be a good player, but in the NFL, that transition, you got to be able to adapt. and he's got a long way to go. I mean, he's not going to come in right away and get a roster spot. I think he might be a practice squad guy that they can, sit and develop, and maybe next year they'll see where he's at. Hopefully, he can make it through without getting dehydrated. But that's a big deal for a guy that again, a lot of people were, you see the draft picks, you see all the hype after the post draft, which is great. It's great to be excited, but you don't really know what any of these guys are going to be until 2-3 years later. Let's see how they develop. Let's see how they fill their frame. Let's see how the coaches go out there and work on them, because I mean, we've sat here through many drafts and I'm like, oh, this guy's going to be something. And turns out they're not. You never know who's going to pan out. Nobody could have expected like George Kittle to be one of the best tight ends in the league in the 5th round. So you never know what's going to happen with these guys coming up.
Yeah, Drake Jackson is definitely interesting because he kind of broke down last year and he couldn't finish the season.
Yeah.
From what Coach Wilkes is saying, defense coordinator, him and Javon Kinlaw look great. Now, when I hear about Kinlaw looking great in the offseason, we hear it every single year. I'm not really impressed. What you do against air and what you do against not banging bodies in camp, that really doesn't move me. With Drake Jackson, which is what is encouraging is all of us talked about it. I'm sure you talked about it. He just had like a soft body last year. He looked doughy. He looked He looked like a guy who hasn't been in an NFL weight room for a couple of years. And from what everybody's saying, he's put on weight, but he's put on like muscle weight. So that's exactly what I want to hear. Because I remember when they drafted him, I was like, this dude's kind of fat.
I mean,
I was like,
he still had like
thick.
Yeah, he was thick. That's the word. And I mean,
sorry, I'm not trying to fat shame anybody because I'm heavy too.
No,
so
and I think it just was. You're right. I don't think he was muscly developed. Like he wasn't ripped. Like some of these guys you see, and they're just like chiseled. He wasn't chiseled yet. Like he had potential. He's got to chisel it out of stone. He's got to go in there, hit the lab, and turn that flab into muscle, right? And that's what Kyle Shanahan says. He says his body's just not ready to get through a full season. He needs to get stronger. He needs to get more endurance, and that's what it is. And he has been in the lab. Like you see him, he's been posting on his social media story all the time that he's in, training. And Steve Wilkes said, this guy's been coming in, and we love what we see out of him. And that's what we wanted out of a guy. Obviously, a lot of people, they get to the next level in any sport, and it's going to take them time to kind of get into their body and mature. These guys are still young. You got to remember they're 22, 21, 23, very young. Like, look at Brandon Ayuk. When he came into the league, till now, he was just a tall, lanky guy with long arms. I remember that. He was just like a string pull. Looked like me, right? And then now, I mean, this guy, Brandon Ayuk. I remember last year. I can't remember what game it was, but after the locker room speech, he had his shirt off, and I was like, "What the? This guy is jacked." And now, bro is.
You have to be with the amount of beating that they take, man. You got to have weight on your body, and it's got to be good weight, healthy weight.
Yeah.
You can't be skinny, or you can't be, doughy and out of shape either. You gotta get that body ready, because you're like Kittle was talking about how it's like going in, getting, having a car accident every single week. Like your body, you have to be in shape, and that sucks.
You can't be like Aaron, and you can't be like me to be in the NFL. Let's be honest.
You can't be 285 at 6'3", but it's not like Brock Lesnar muscle. It's all like pudgy dad bod muscle or chub. Yeah, you can't have that.
I don't even want to say how much I weigh. It's embarrassing. You can't be like me soaking wet. You don't
want
to.
What do you like? I'm trying to think. You got to be like 130 pounds.
Not even close. 120 soaking wet. My God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly, donut shop. That is pretty skinny.
Live your life with the heart problem, and you'll be skinny like me. But it's not healthy. It's not.
It's in my family. And being heavy and eating the diet that I do probably doesn't help. So yeah, I got you.
Yeah, no. I mean, at the end of the day, me and you won't be playing. We won't be getting any tryouts. But hey, these guys in the NFL are world-class athletes. And it takes time for them to get their full body shape out. And even Kinlaw, like you say, he does look great. He looks absolutely.
Kinlaw always looks amazing, but it just, to me, football's played on the field. It's not played in the mirror with your shirt on. I'm not a Kinlaw guy. And Bashar, you're right. I don't like him. I don't like his demeanor. I don't like his play on the field. I just never been a Kinlaw guy. And when you can't be pissy all the time with the media. Like, you've accomplished things you should be humble. You should be answering questions with the proper respect and go out there and not talk and just perform. And I don't know. I don't like him. So
Yeah,
if he,
at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to be around. And again, it's great that he's looking good, but he needs to look good playing. He
yeah,
looks
get your
good
ass on the
going up
field, man.
there.
Enough of this mess.
I know he's chiseled his body. He's got in good shape. I'm not going to say he hasn't, but again, can the knee hold up? Can the knee hold up when you're banging bodies? Pause.
Yeah,
When you
my again, my knee's bad. It's getting better, but I'm 43. I'm not 23.
yeah,
Okay, so and I've been working most of my life. This dude, like, come on now.
kind of
He
bad
had
with
rickety knees coming into the NFL.
it's kind
Laura
of
says she likes dad bods, so I'm totally
there you go.
awesome.
There you go.
Sweet.
Sold. You sold, Laura. You sold to the certain crowd. I mean, yeah, no hate. But you're right. I think Kinlaw. I mean, writing's on the wall. This is probably his last year with the Niners. Hopefully, he has a good season though, because for him, I'm sure he wants to
Yeah.
continue to play in the NFL. This is his.
Yeah.
This is
He
fun.
can catch on somebody or else, maybe have a revival in his career
Yeah, yeah.
if
So
he has that mental,
he
makeup
has
to
the
do something like that.
But the other thing is, I hope he has a good season because if he's on this roster, I want him to be productive. I don't want him to just
Right.
be sitting around doing nothing like a.
Yeah, if he could be a good depth guy and come in after Hargrave and give us, however many snaps a game and their productive snaps, then yeah, I'd be totally down with it. But I don't want to see him on this team past that point. I just think it's better that they move on. That's why they made the move for Hargrave. People are like, you don't make the move for Hargrave if you are sold on Javon Kinlaw as the future defensive tackle.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
man.
So just
Hargrave,
saying.
and I also think so. We did say they need an edge rusher, right? They need a pass rusher, a veteran pass rusher. Edge. We said edge. I also think that Hargrave, he's gonna help in the pass rush so much. Like they probably felt like he's so good, we may not need to get that veteran guy because this guy's gonna be able to rush from up the middle. Because not a lot of D tackles, interior D linemen can rush from up the middle, and he's so good that he can provide that pass rush that we would normally getting off the edge inside, and that's gonna leave Bosa to be open. So I do think that the Hargrave move is kind of their idea of addressing the pass rusher situation. Although I still want another edge rusher because it
Me
just would
too.
make me feel.
I would be way more comfortable if
Agreed.
they had a glorified starter uh,
Yes.
on the other side. Like I'm not comfortable with just a bunch of guys because that's what was last year. I mean, yes, Hargrave is an upgrade, but like, why not? Why rest on your laurels? Get another person. So
Make this
I look
team
younger than
strong.
43. Appreciate that.
Make your team as strong as it can be. That's it. Just
Yeah.
dogs. Go get the dogs, man.
Unless they see stuff in guys already that they've drafted, or maybe they have more knowledge on what guys are going to be already. Maybe Beal comes in here and is D Ford reincarnated, and I mean you were looking at each other in October, November, like the hell were we thinking?
I
Trying to.
hope. I hope
I
that.
hope that's the case.
I hope so.
If somebody wants to save a receipt from an old live stream and be like, "You're the one to talk," go ahead, please. I want to be wrong. I
I
want
want
to be wrong.
that. I want to eat crow. I want to eat so much crow this season from everything that I said was
That
going
you
to be
grow a
bad,
beak.
that I grow up, and I'll be like, quote the Raven. I'll be
I
like,
already have one, so I can always
and
donate to
then
your
when I go to
cause.
the Ravens game, I'll be I'll just be looking like a Raven, So,
Fit
uh,
right in.
I can't wait for that game. Christmas Day. I already got tickets to that damn game.
I want to go to the Steelers game. I kind of do, and I kind of don't. The Browns game too, but my nephew doesn't. My nephew hasn't responded. He works really hard. He works for a bank. He's
Oh
busy.
yeah,
He's
light up.
Mister working out after he looks really good. He's a good looking guy. He's all Mister Young and energetic and looking good for the ladies.
Oh, must be nice back. I remember those days. Yeah,
Yeah.
but hopefully
He's single though. He was dating a girl that was lived in New York, right? Lived right down in New York City, and
yeah.
it just didn't work out. So they ended up breaking up. And he was just like, you know what? Now that I'm single, like I appreciate it. Like he goes, I don't think mentally I could be in that situation right now. So sometimes like freedom actually is good for you for a while. So good for him.
Sometimes you need it. Like just lately, I haven't been doing a lot of social media, and it's just kind of been nice because I've been doing so
I
many.
noticed that, and it's good. And social media is a freaking rabbit hole, dude. We all go down it.
It's tough, man. And I got a big following. So sometimes I'm just like, you know what? People are going to worry about me, but you just need to kind of go off the grid and do what you got to do. You got to take care of your own mentals, especially with me, with what I do as a career. I take care of people. I'm a physical therapist. If I can't take care of myself, I can't take care of them, So
Yeah, you got to worry about yourself, especially if you're in a profession where you're taking care of someone's
yeah,
grandma or someone's dad or, some middle-aged guy who hurt his knee and he needs rehab.
exactly.
You gotta, especially if you're not a big guy, you got to make sure your back is strong.
Oh, that's the thing, because I'm not 120 so quick, but I'm strong.
Be
But
moving my fat ass around like, come on, big boy, let's go.
yeah, man, like when I'm at the clinic and I'm getting these patients up, oh, fuck, some of them are tough. So if I'm not strong enough to get them up, it's a struggle. So I got to make sure that I'm good, and I can do my job. It's a grind, man. Mentally,
It is.
physically, it's tough. But
I see all those people that do. For anybody who knows that, Raj is in physical therapy, going through physical therapy to last like 3 out of 4 years. Those people got a tough job. They're there all day long. Tons of patients. There's people that are motivated.
yeah,
There's people that don't want to do anything and they just take up time. It's just like
the ones that
sometimes I
aren't
see,
motivated, oh my god,
that makes me mad. I was watching somebody one time on her phone while she's supposed to be stretching out her foot on like a ball, and she's just like,
oh
and
my
I'm
god.
just like, I want to be like, hey, like, come on,
There's people that would kill to have your insurance pay for them, and because they want to get better. But I digress. As far Day Day says, what was your record prediction? I didn't hear it. So I know we talked about
I
this
think
last.
we all had the same record prediction. We just had different teams.
Yeah, I said, but 13 wins. I had
We
13.
said 13-4 was
Yeah,
our record prediction.
my prediction 13-4. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I still a week later, it's still 13-4.
13-4 doesn't sound bad if we lose to say like the Eagles, the Hawks, and a smattering of other teams. People are like, "Oh, losing to the Eagles." Listen, man. Listen,
We have to get the number one seed though,
we
Aaron.
got to get the number one seed. That's the most important thing because that with this team, the way they play and how they smack other people and themselves around, they need to have that rest. Because I think a rested 49ers team in the playoffs with Kyle Shanahan and he has time to be in the lab with all his toys.
I agree.
Watch out, NFL. That's all I gotta say. Watch out.
You need to be healthy, because one thing I said with Rohan earlier today is the 49ers were absolutely gassed out
Oh, they were so gassed.
because they had to go on that run
And the year before too, when they went to play the Rams in the NFC, they were gassed.
They won what, like, crazy amount of games in a row in 2021, and then last year was like 11 games, 12 games in a row. They won so many games in a row. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of energy to go on a run, and then you're traveling. You're on the road. You have high expectations, a lot of pressure. There's enough pressure. It's an NFC Championship game, and then the pressure of continuing the win streak. They were just so exhausted. You could just see it. Body language was everything. They have to get the strong start. They got to get the number one seed, and they have to have home playoff games. We need people traveling to us. Travel to us. So,
look what that did to the Packers a couple of years ago, having to come out. They freaking were flat. We freaking smacked them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's it. And I mean, the year.
I love Day-Day's profile pic, by the way.
It's good
It's
stuff.
freaking hilarious.
I love it. I like the 49er.
Is he choking out a Raiders player or a Raiders person?
Choking out a Raiders guy. Yeah, the Raiders.
That's awesome. That'd be a cool tattoo to have, actually. That'd be sweet.
Little Niner man choking out.
Yeah, a little sourdough Sam, but like a geeked out Brock Lesnar version of sourdough Sam.
Oh, get it. We should get it. I'm gonna get that tatted. Choking out the Raiders.
That'd be awesome.
Or if we win Super Bowl, whoever they beat, we choke out that team.
Don't be like the Seattle Seahawks person that got like a back-to-back championship tattoo and then they lost.
Oh my god, I wouldn't get
the Patriots
until after.
Yeah, that's a dumbass move right there.
Like anybody that ever gets the tattoo before, it's just bad omen. It's just a bad omen. Day Day wants to know, who is your breakout player this year, Ryan?
Oh, I thought he was asking me. Ryan.
Yeah. Who is it?
Breakout player this year is going to be, I don't know. I'm going to say, because I have hopes that he does well, Drake Jackson is my breakout player this year.
Yeah, I like that.
Because it needs to happen. Even if he gets 10, if that man gets 8 to 10 sacks this year, that's humongous. People are like, oh, that's not that much. Across from Bosa, that'd be fantastic.
Are you kidding me? If we get 8 to 10 sacks across from Bosa, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
The most that we had across from Bosa last year was Samson Ebukam and Charles Omenihu. They didn't even have 6 sacks. They
Yeah,
both.
it was so bad.
I,
Yeah, let's get if we can get a couple of those.
woo, my
Awesome
break.
Kick likes Demo. Yeah, I like Demo
I was
too.
just gonna say with Awesome Kick, that is my breakout star because he was kind of flashing as the playoffs came, and I sat here and told the world, watch out for Diamond Lenore and everybody. And
Yeah, I was definitely bagging on him.
I pulled out every receipt. I was at the game. I was screaming. I remember I posted a video when he got the interception. I was, that's my guy, Demo. I told you, bro. Demo is my breakout cornerback too. A lot of expectations for the secondary. You got Steve Wilkes.
Watch out for the rookie though. Watch out for a lot of people think he could be I could be a starter soon guy.
Luther. I like him.
Yeah.
He's gonna need some time. Look, this is the thing. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Croc. He said that Luther is the guy they wanted Ambry Thomas to be. It could be. He could be.
Booter likes man-to-man coverage. They asked him what he prefers. He does like going straight up man-to-man. I love hearing that. I love any corner that can go man on your best receiver and lock him down. Good for me.
I'm telling you, man. I got Demo. Big season for this guy coming up. A lot of people are going to doubt him. I get it.
Niners just need to stay healthy. That's their biggest opponent.
Honestly, every year, that's it. Just stay
healthy. Every year, it's the same.
Especially the quarterback, Aaron.
Dude, I was listening to a podcast the other day. People are always hurt. And they have like multiple injuries every year. For instance, the injury that they talked about that Trey Lance has been dealing with after he injured his finger, and then he had to relearn to grip the ball. And then it's just he struggled because he had to learn to regrip because he had a broken finger. Like, what the hell, man? Between that and then the ankle, and then you got Brock who injured his ribs and then injured his shoulder, and you have Jimmy Garoppolo who hurts himself getting out of the shower pretty much. Like, what the heck, man?
You know, the only quarterback that's actually healthy on this roster right now,
Sam Darnold. Don't start that.
I'm going to leave it at that. Sam Darnold.
Yeah, we're going to leave it at that. No Sam Darnold talk. No
Sam Darnold. We're going to
stop with that mess.
We went almost a full 40 minutes without quarterback talk, so we won't entertain it. I will want to talk quarterback shortly in June when Purdy starts talking court throwing.
That's right.
Right now, I'm not even trying to entertain anything.
They say Purdy could be ready for training camp, or at least in some form or fashion. Kyle Shanahan said it early June.
I know.
Does that mean he's going to be slinging a softball like Jimmy on the side? Just don't be like Jimmy and steal the thunder from the rest of the actual players that are practicing. Don't do that.
That's what I think it's going to be. I think in June, he's going to be throwing like a tennis ball, golf ball, ramping it up. And then eventually they'll introduce the football, see how his arm, his elbow and everything holds up. And then in training camp, after a month, because he'll be throwing on him by himself in the month, ramping up for training camp. I think training camp, we're going to see Brock Purdy in the back throwing. I honestly think I already can see it. I'm going to be there, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's Brock Purdy. And I'm going to get in the video, Brock Purdy, he's in the background. Because it's like this separate, like, you saw it when Jimmy was there. It's like this separate area. Everybody's here on the field doing their thing.
He's going to have a ton of cameras on him.
Bro, he's going to have.
He's not as handsome, though, so maybe there'll be a few less. No.
All eyes. Oh, no, they're going to be on him. He's a good-looking young man, but yeah.
He's got a Luke Skywalker thing going on. He's got a young Mark Hamill. He looks like he's 12, but yeah.
Like he's 12. It's nice, yeah. He does. He looks so young. He is young, 23, but he looks like so young.
Yeah, 23 is really freaking young. Holy hell. That's a whole 20 years younger than me. Yee.
Remember when you were 23? Holy smokes.
Yeah, I was a freaking idiot. I was really skinny, too. Really, really skinny.
Yeah.
Like sickly skinny, almost to the point where people thought I had a disease or something.
Wow. Yeah.
Fast forward 20 years, not the case. The only disease I think people think I might have is heart disease. That's the only one. So I got to fix that.
But
boom.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. There really isn't too much other news going on. Obviously, we talked about, mini camp and everything. But in a week or so, we'll have OTAs ramping up and then the mandatory mini camp. So we'll see. There should be some news coming up. Anything else off the top of your head that you've been itching to say or about the Niners that you just can't wait or you got to get off your chest? What say you?
No, I think that's pretty much been said. I just think I hope the quarterback thing works its way out. I hope it's a fair and just competition. And I really hope that Sam Darnold never takes a starting snap for this team. Because if that happens, that means we're having the same situation that we've had pretty much multiple seasons. So if Sam Darnold never gets a starting rep on this team, it's actually a really good thing because that means we're healthy. So
yeah, that's one way to look at it. Here's my take on it. Like, I get it. I don't want to see Brock hurt. I don't want to see Trey hurt, and I don't want to get through this whole season where you're on your third quarterback or whatever it may be. But if it does come down to the fact that Sam Darnold, God forbid, has to play quarterback, I hope he does good with us. I hope he can be the quarterback that everybody thought he could be coming out of the draft, being the number 3 pick, and silence people. Because if it does come down to that reality, which you never know with this team, knock on wood that it doesn't. I don't want to wish injury on anybody. I hate that. Even my
me
opponent.
too.
I don't want it to, but if it does come to that, because it's the 49ers, and that's happened to us many times, unfortunately, I want him to be a good player with this damn team. So
Oh, absolutely. If he ends up being the
whatever
starter,
it
I don't want
takes,
him to be bad.
whatever it takes for this team to win a Super Bowl. If it takes Sam Darnold finding his rejuvenation and his second life in the career, so be it. But do I
That
want him
would
to be
be so
starting
weird.
back for the 49ers as the season?
No.
Not, Aaron. Absolutely not.
Hell no. And anybody who thinks yeah, I have one thing to say before we leave.
Yeah.
I forgot what national mouth is talking about him being possibly the guy. I forgot. I know Kay Adams was kind of making some noise, and everybody listens to her because she's cute.
She's pretty, yeah.
Yeah, she's real pretty. She's all right though. She's kind of skinny for me. But yeah, like it's just I don't know, man. Like this is a really dead time of year where we're just a whole lot of nothing talking. Sam Darnold supposedly could have a second, a rejuvenation of his career behind Kyle Shanahan. Listen, I'm not saying that it's impossible for that to happen, but I just don't see it. I feel like what you are is what you are. He might be a better version of what he was as far as having more weapons at his disposal. But any guy who says he sees ghost on the field when he's throwing, don't want him as my quarterback long term. I'm sorry. I just don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. There's nothing you can convince me.
I get it, Aaron, because I remember when where there was rumors before this year when they were like Sam Darnold's going to come in and replace, and I was just like, oh God, no! Like I was there, and I was like, oh. But at this point, because he's the backup, he's the emergency. I'm okay with that. But again,
I'm okay with it.
Can that guy who's had a handful of games, was like 58 games in the NFL, he's got a lot of games under his belt. Like we've seen what he can do. But again, I get it. What Shanahan saying, this guy has not had the same team around him that he has now. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt if he has to play.
Yeah, Shanahan says we have 3 starting franchise quarterbacks, and I'm just like, oh God, here we go.
When he said that, I was like, oh, here we go. Of course.
And everybody's gonna run with it, and they did.
They did. And you know what, man? We have a whole offseason of we still don't know who the quarterback is. That's the biggest issue to me. Is just every single year, it's like
every year
and repeat. It's like rinse, lather, repeat. It's like it's the same off. That's why I'm so tired of it. That this year I really haven't been posting much because it's the same stories, the same posts, the same content as it was last year.
Yeah, you just take Jimmy Garoppolo out, you put Sam Darnold, or you put Trey Lance, and I feel like Trey Lance is being overlooked a lot by a lot of us, and I'm glad he is because I feel like it gives him an opportunity to kind of just work and grind behind the scenes while everybody else is doubting him.
Yes, sir. I cannot wait for Trey.
I hope he does well, man. I would love to see him be the guy that got us to a Super Bowl and won it because it would just justify so much, and to me it would be a personal success story for him, for everybody that crapped on him and said that he was a bust and stuff. So
crazy if that went down, it'd be crazy. Real quick, Peter Parker says it's not like Kyle's gonna talk down on Sammy. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not like Kyle's.
Yeah, it's coach talk. It's organizational talk. Yeah, they have to do it. It's good. It's political talk.
No, it's good. You got to do.
You're not gonna poop on your quarterback and say, "Yeah, he's hot dog water." Yeah,
dog water. Why do we have Sam Darnold? We can't wait to cut him when roster cuts come. But you got to catch guys. But it's somebody just commented that off. Yeah, David says off season's all about talk. It is. It's like everybody has their own talk show. And
everybody does. Everybody has a podcast. Literally everybody.
We're all Jerry Springer here. We all want to get a piece of Jerry Springer. But yeah, that's it. I think we pretty much covered everything. Yeah, shout out to the Niner fans. Good to see everybody. Good to hear from the Niner fans. The chat. Good to see Aaron. And that's all I got tonight.
That's it, guys. That's pretty much all I got too. Take
All right.
care, everybody.
Peace out. Have a good one.
See ya.